What up, y'all? I am Vegas, and this is One2FlowOn. The topic today is, can we get a little Dr. Dre appreciation going? Now, if you don't know, HBO has a series on directed by one of the Hudlin brothers. I can't remember at the time. I think it's Reginald. Uh, but it's called The Defiant Ones, and it basically tells the story, at least as far as what I've seen so far, which I've seen like 2 episodes, of the start, the impact, the personalities, the life of record label exec, producer extraordinaire, icon Jimmy Iovine, and the legendary Dr. Dre from Chronic, all that stuff, right? All them classics. And shout out to the homie Ak who put me on to it. I saw that it was coming. I saw a trailer. I knew I wanted to watch it. Uh, it's just hard to find time to watch some of these things. You know what I'm saying? So I found some time to get an episode in and watch half of another one for the most part, and it's excellent. I mean, it's excellent. And one thing about Dr. Dre, he kind of has built this reputation for perfection when it comes to production and sound quality and just everything he likes to put his name on, right? And with this documentary, you get to know a lot about him as well as Jimmy Iovine. But this is hip hop. We focus in on hip hop, but Dr. Dre in particular, and it's inspiring because when you look at the documentary itself, or at least I would just say that all the episodes got to be with the same quality. But when you look at all of that, just the way it's edited, the way they intertwine footage, the way they intertwine interviews, it's just seamless. And it kind of reminds me of when Straight Outta Compton, the movie, came out, and Dr. Dre finally put out an album that was not Detox, but it was Compton. And Compton, I believe, was one of my top of that year that it came out, which, what was that, 2015? Mainly because, I like the records I heard, but just the sound quality was just excellent. It was to the point where it's like, yo, this should be the standard for albums. And again, of course, the music has to be good or it doesn't matter. But as far as just the sound quality and how the different effects and skits and songs and artists and their voice levels and their voice quality, how it all just sounds so crisp. You know what it sounds like? It sounds expensive. That's what it sounds. It sounds like this is something you cannot do at home. You cannot do this on Fruity Loops. You cannot do this on iPad Pro, or you have to be in a expensive studio with expensive equipment, with expensive engineers, and people who know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it's just one of those things where watching this documentary, it was a little difficult to pay attention to the story, not because it was that distracting, but pay attention to the story just for the simple fact that I was just in awe of everything else. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's not like Dr. Dre cut this up and all of that. Um, but I'm watching this on an iPad at the time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't watching this on no 4K TV with a sound bar and all of that, with a woofer that's making it pop. You know what I'm saying? It's just a simple fact. I'm watching this on an iPad and I'm just sitting there like, yo, this is crazy, man. And there's a lot that's in there, as far as Dr. Dre's beginnings, um, for his life, you know what I'm saying, as far as him as a DJ, his start. It's a lot of archive footage. Like if you saw Straight Outta Compton and you saw how they started at the club, or he started DJing at the club, uh, Eve After Dark, they got footage of Dre coming in with the purple, doctor uniform and sitting there mixing at the club. They got like pictures. They even got Lonzo, the club owner. You know how we saw him in the movie, and when you see him now, he got a bald head, and you could tell the personality is the same. But to see him with the Jerry curl on stage back then at the club, it's just excellent. It's the way especially music documentaries. It's the way they should be done. It's honestly, it's probably what they should have did with the Tupac movie. Even though I enjoyed the performance by Demetrius Shipp Jr., um, I kind of feel like they could have used him in other ways, but they could have done a documentary that did that. But this Defiant Ones documentary is just people agreeing so that they can make something powerful. It's about, I believe, 4 episodes, all clocking in around an hour. It is packed full of stuff, and he does not leave out some of the things that people felt were left out of Compton, like his situation with Michelle A. And there's a big deal that happens there. Um, Recognizing JJ Fad, this is a real in-depth look at a guy who doesn't let you get a look at his stuff. Now, I ain't gonna front. There was a moment where I was like, "Is Detox coming?" But I doubt it. I think if you are a person who are not only into hip hop, but you're interested in life stories of successful people, who have humble beginnings, it's inspirational to a young cat out there. There's nothing in this documentary that says you can't be the next Jimmy Iovine or you can't be the next Dr. Dre. Even if it's not doing the same things they do in the same industry, because that's where a lot of people get it twisted. They always think that they got to try to go and be a producer or they got to try to go be an engineer. You be whatever you want to be, but you can be very successful. If you're trying to be a hustler on the streets, then I ain't got nothing for you. But this documentary is for those people who worked hard, who took the harder road to success and are highly successful today because of who they are. And I just felt like it was excellent. I feel like, Dr. Dre, he's an icon, everybody knows that, but I think a lot of people sometimes, don't take the time out to really appreciate these dudes before they are gone. You know what I'm saying? And Dr. Dre's just mindset of how he was able to, spot things that he liked and go full throttle and be successful. Because look at this, man. You can say what you want about the producing credits and all that, but without Dr. Dre's touch on it's not the same thing. And I'm not talking about branding. I'm talking about if you watch this man work meticulously on music, even music that's not his, just having like Marvin Gaye vocals and songs and the masters where he can remix it himself, it just shows you how he can make whatever he wants, you know what I'm saying, when he wants, and it's going to be a high level of quality. But also you find that he's just a worker, man. He's just a worker. And he's a very private person. So you know how everybody want to talk about like what 444 Jay-Z's new album, including myself. You can check out my review on theshadowleague.com. But people want to talk about, Jay-Z is saying this and that, and what I'm saying, he revealing, he's shedding, blah, blah, blah. And mind you, haven't really done any interviews. But it's plenty of artists who have done that, but this is kind of like for Jay-Z, who's very private, and Dr. Dre is very private. This is an excellent look into their story and who they are, because it has to be told. I'm sorry, I know dudes like to be private, but at the same time, this is good for your image, this is good for your spirit, and this is good for your business. Because when people feel like they know you, they support you, especially if they like you, because they can know you and not like you, but that's whatever. So, The Defiant Ones, did you watch it? Let me know. Leave your comments in the comment section if you like this video. Hit that like button. If you like all the content that's right here on the B-Roll Network, subscribe. You want to hear more from me? I have a podcast. It's a weekly podcast, Hip Hop News and Perspectives. Let me know. Hip Hop Now Podcast, that's what it's called. You can go to soundcloud.com/Hip Hop Now Podcast, and it's available on all your devices, iOS, Google, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn, all of that. All you got to do is search for it. Until next time, y'all, I am not a critic. I'm a fan. Peace. Drop it on the random.